Very, very welcome. Good morning. This webinar is about generative AI and its applications across businesses and across different business functions. My name is Rajeev. I've been taking care of marketing and sales so far in my career. However, I'm extremely inquisitive and curious about how generative AI is going to change the industry. I've worked across industries and I've seen how technology and adoption of new technology has changed the very ROI of business in a very short span of time. And therefore, it was very, very interesting and an opportunity for me to present you how generative AI is going to change almost every industry, almost every domain. How companies are uh, pouring money to create products and create services that can be solved through generative AI and save a lot of cost as well, resource cost, as well as bring a lot of scalability in the business, bring a lot of ROI at the end of the day, right? Uh, if all of you are able to hear me loud and clear, just ping on chat. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to start this webinar now. We have a lot in the house to cover, and this is going to be an interesting session. I am not only going to help you understand how generative AI is going to shape the future of humanity in many ways. I'm also going to help you take a few tools away after this webinar so you can make use of those tools and use generative AI in your day-to-day work, right? This is also going to bring a lot of efficiency in what you do. You write emailers, you write communications to friends, you can write a poetry, you can read something. Let's say you can get the summary of a lot of interesting books. You can create your own images, you can create videos, you can create audios, uh, and you can do this at scale, right? Generative AI allows you to uh, run business functions at scale and without too much of dependency on technology, because too much of dependency on the other factors which were playing a longer role and larger role so far in the journey of building a product or service for your customers, right? So this is going to be very, very transformative. This is going to impact almost every industry, like I said, and this is going to do this sooner than we realize. So let's start with on this note. Let's start. Uh, Before we start, we will divide this entire webinar in three buckets to respect the time and to ensure that we are able to, come out with something as a takeaway to learn these things faster. We will go for a zoom out and we'll see everything as a context, understand what are we trying to learn, where we're trying to learn, what we're trying to learn, and then we'll kind of declutter some jargons also to help really understand what it means. A lot of us are not really clear. When I interview a lot of people, when I meet a lot of people, we generally get confused into uh, okay, so yeah, so we generally get confused into what is generative AI, what is artificial intelligence, what is deep learning, what is machine learning, what are neural networks, how do they really work, and why it is important for us to understand these jargons. Because once you know how they really function and operate, you are able to make use of these tools and technologies which are available for us far more efficiently, in much better way. The very output that you get from any generative AI tool, whether it is image creator tool or audio creator tool or text creator tool like ChatGPT or Google Bard, you'll be able to use it in a much better way. You'll be able to fine tune and give the right input to generative AI to help understand your context in a much better way, and therefore you'll be able to get the output which is far different than what you generally get on a blank or a base level input, right? So that is one. Second, we'll come a bit closer and we'll understand how generative AI really works. What are the different you know operating models under this, uh, and how does it really create content for you, right? And what is the difference between artificial intelligence and now generative AI, and why companies are putting a lot of money? We'll kind of dive deep into this, and then we'll also understand where are we now. Why it is important for us to understand where are we now? Because whenever there is a technology that comes, uh, there is there's a technology that comes, and there is a technology that has a lot of potential to grow exponentially. It is important for us to understand where are we in that trajectory of time, right? If we know that we are at the there's something big that is going to change, and we are at the verge of it, we are just about to experience that, which means it brings all the more urgency for us to know why this is important. Why should we learn about this now? And when we learn this, how can we really make use of these tools, technologies, skills to bring efficiency in what we do? You guys are interested in and doing your MBA programs, this is going to be a transformative time for you, because you will not only learn how to manage a business across different sections and different stages of the business. Some of you would be interested in going into oil and gas, renewable energy, business analytics, HR, finance, marketing, uh, and MBAs play a critical role there, right? Your role is important in a lot of decision makings. When there is a technology out there which can help you take your decision faster, which can maybe alter the very way you're going to take decision about something, because there's so much of machinery involved, so much of cost involved, so much of resources involved, and therefore you'll have to eventually figure out the ROI of what activities or initiatives you're going to take in different functions of the company. Therefore it becomes inevitable for you to know what where the world is heading, right? How my competitors are going to change their marketing, their business, their manufacturing, and their operation strategies, right? What tools and technologies are they using? And if we know, and you are aware at this time, you know how we can make use of this in the very beginning and be ahead of the curve. My intention from this webinar is to help you empower enough that you go back, you do more research about this, you start using the tool hands-on, and you become far more efficient in how you do research about a business, how you create content about something, how you understand a complex topic, and how can you really understand like a 5-year old, right? And therefore move in the right progression. There'll be so many topics in your MBA also, which might sound daunting to you, which might sound difficult to you. You will at least have a tool at the end of the webinar that can help you declutter everything and understand things faster, right? And save a lot of time. And then we'll come to ground zero, which Gen Z's use this term a lot, so I've added this. It's called WIIFM. We call it, and it means what's in it for me. And therefore, exactly what I'm going to give you a few, giveaways and tools that you can just sign in and start using. And I'll tell you how to really use prompt engineering, which is a booming career right now. Everyone is talking about, and people are getting paid in millions because they know how to tone generative AI tools, which are currently operating on billions of data points, how to tune them as per your need and requirement and make use of them. Right? It's like electricity. You change the way you want to use it. You can switch on the fan. You can make a fan out of it. You can make a heater or a light or anything and everything on earth right now, right? And then there'll be some bold conjectures. Bold conjectures are needed because we are going to learn about something that we don't know about. We are going to learn about something which is sooner going to be far more superior than us. And therefore, there are things which are unknown to us. Not just unknown to us, it is unknown to the humanity, right? So we are going to give some bold conjectures to understand where things are going to change and how can we better prepared for it. So let's move forward. See, there are broadly three type of people, right? One, who are aware, and among us also, there'll be some people who are aware about generative AI. They know, what artificial intelligence they've heard about here and there. They heard the hype. The second ones are curious. They've watched a few videos on internet. They would have maybe done some course offered by Google or Coursera for free. They've read a few blog articles about what generative AI is and how it is going to change the world. And there are few among us who are doers, right? You would have tried ChatGPT, you would have tried Google Bard, you would have tried few image creation tools, and you kind of hands-on with how it really works. This session is largely about moving all of you to doers, right? Those who are already doers, they'll understand a lot of interesting ways of how this really works, how the mechanics and operating model works, so they are able to do the same thing far more efficiently. Plus, you will get a giveaway as a prompt engineering, kind of step-by-step process of how to create a prompt and how to make use of this on a daily basis. All right. So again, we will move from confusion to clarity. We'll understand what, why of everything, where are we appear to be heading. What is Chat GPT? What is machine learning? What are neural networks? What is generative AI? What is deep learning? Large language models? And we'll really break it down and understand like a 5-year-old. We'll understand in the most simplistic way possible to ensure that you're very, very clear with what do they really mean, and what is what, and why are we talking about this now, and why they are important for us, right? Like I said, we'll move from confusion to clarity. And let's start with the elephant in the room, right? Everyone talks about AI, machine learning, deep learning, but what are these terms, and why these terms are so much talk of the town right now? Why everyone is talking about every single company? There is a data I have down in the deck that almost 71% companies are investing in, and they're literally pouring money in creating products and services around generative AI and AI, right? So why are they doing it now? What changed in last 2 years after ChatGPT came, and why almost this has gone off the roof in terms of demand and search? So let me help you understand at least these three basic terms to get clarity of what we are talking about, right? Uh, so there's the most important term which is very popular these days is artificial intelligence. So many companies are offering products and services in this. They are offering courses in this, and they are inviting people to enroll in these courses. See, the one of the things which is very important for us to understand is artificial intelligence itself is not a technology. Itself is not a it's not a tool that you can use. It is a discipline. It is a discipline like science. It is a discipline like biology. It is a discipline like physics, right? It is a science which is devoted to make machines think and act like humans, right? Uh, by far, no matter the level of innovation that has happened in the world, by far, we are one of the complex machines in the world, right? The level of complexity that we have in our physiology and biology and the brain uh, has been incomprehensible to science so far, right? So what AI is doing right now, AI is trying to mimic and act like humans, right? That's it. So anything and everything, any technology or every technology, whether it is predictive analytics, whether it is deep learning, whether it is more into understanding how regression model works, etc., how do you really predict something that is going to happen with a lot of data and insight, largely comes under the umbrella of artificial intelligence. Then the next word, which is quite popular, is machine learning. Machine learning is largely about enabling computers to perform tasks without programming. Now, before machine learning, the model was that you write a code for a computer to find a pattern, check something, if else, if something is right, if something is true, answer this, if something is false, answer this, right? And we largely been operating on the model of binaries, right? If a plus b, if 1 plus 2 is 3, answer true. If 1 plus 2 is not 3, answer false, right? Something like this. So we used to play binary. But what is important for here to understand is that machine learning is the subset of AI. Machine learning is not equivalent to AI. It is not very different than AI. It comes under the umbrella of AI as a discipline, right? What it does, it uses large amount of data and uses mathematical models to make predictions. Uh, if some of us are good at Microsoft Excel, and we have tried the regression analysis, we have tried some kind of modeling on Excel to kind of model a lot of large amount of data and look at the quantifiable score. We do that, right? With probability, etc. You can find out what is the likability of something to happen. If you have a large amount of data and you bring statistics, you bring probability in this, you'll be able to, with certain percentage of confidence, you'll be able to make a statement, right? I am 30% confidence that this is likely to happen, right? That largely comes from, and if you do this at large amount of data, let's say, social media, let's say Swiggy, Zomato, Flipkart guys, they're playing on millions of data sets. They probably can use that data to come at far more accuracy. correct? So again, I'm repeating, machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence. However, what it does, it uses large amount of data and mathematical models to predict an outcome. But the next term, which is been quite in news these days, is deep learning. Then you must have heard about data science. You've heard about large language models and what they are. And then you've heard about, and this session is about generative AI, right? So we are basically at the very core of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about why this is going to be very, very important, and how this whole things from AI to generative AI, how the journey fits in. So what deep learning does, as you can read, deep learning uses neural networks to process more complex pattern than machine learning and understands like human. Now the word understand here is very important, and this is precisely the reason uh, this is a transformative technology. This is precisely the reason um, it is going to change the world as we see it very soon, sooner than we think, right? So what do I mean when I say understand? How do we think, and how do we observe something? So when you look around, you see there is a laptop, there is a mobile phone, there is a water bottle, there is something, right, on your desk. You see a room, you see a fan, you see a light. You are able to see and identify these things because deep in your brain, you have created a pattern. You have created a model of, this is how a bottle looks like. This is how a table looks like. This is how a fan looks like. So tomorrow, if you have a fan, which is, let's say, very differently designed than what it should typically look. It should have a motor in between. It should have three fans, and then it should be hanging in the air. If this is something that you see, you somehow resonate that with the fan, right? Now, with deep learning, machines does sort of same thing. They they create neural networks uh, of technology, of information, of course, and then they run series of algorithms uh, designated to identify the pattern. That what is the probability of this looking like this? And mostly, the larger the data set, the correct they are. So they do this, plus they remember this, right? And plus they can connect the dots like we do. For example, you've seen let's say you've seen a pink color water bottle in your dream, right? And then tomorrow, if you see somewhere, in a store, you'll immediately be able to recall, I've seen this bottle somewhere. I'm able to connect it. With the help of neural networks, machines can do that. They can remember information, they can connect dots, and they can create the context out of an information. And this is insanely powerful, right? But how do they really work? Generative AI largely works on two factors. One, the combination of data science, which brings a lot of machine learning and deep learning technology, plus large language models. uh, we all understand the large amount of data, right? Billions and millions of data. But what is important in a data? The important factor of a data is parameter count. How many identifying variables are there in a data? How many ways you can read the data, right? What are the number of inputs which are there in the data, right? What are the bits and bytes of information which are there in the data? Called as parameter count. The larger the parameter count, the efficient the computer is, the better the computer is, the better generative AI is, better outcome you can get. And I'll have these examples in the future, like in upcoming slide for you, and I can take you through that. So basically, guys, artificial intelligence started around 1950, right? Long back. And it was a technique allowing computer to copy like a human behavior, but this was a far-fetched, super scientific idea. If you remember those Star Trek series, they used to talk about very early in I think few first series or episodes, how artificial intelligence really works, right? So this is a old science. When I was doing my computer science, I learned this in long, I mean, in my first year of the college. Yeah, 1950 is the time when people started talking about artificial intelligence, and I think 1948 or 1949 was the first time when the first neural network was invented and created. Then machine learning came, then deep learning came, and the most important thing that has happened over a period of time. If you see the time of deep learning, it is around 2020, 2020 types. So therefore, you see a lot of OpenAI products coming today. You see Google, Microsoft, everyone is kind of getting into and creating a lot of generative AI products because now have one most important thing, and that is a huge amount of data. This was not there earlier. The kind of data, the amount of data that we've created between 2000 and 2022, yeah, it has been mind-boggling on social media, on communities, forums, Wikipedia, blogs. You see the quantum of and volume of content which is out there and that we have created. People say the kind of content that we've created in last 5 6 years are far bigger volume than the content that we've so far created in the history of humanity, right? We all are now able to create content anywhere on social media. The content is out there for people to use, for companies to read, for machine learning algorithms to run and create context out of it. So now hereafter, we will talk about generative AI. We will talk about, we've briefly discussed about how do they really operate and work, but how generative AI works and how the combination of data science, neural network, machine learning, and large language models help empower AI with the power of generative AI. So AI can create something which was never there, which never existed, right? So you can create an image which never existed. For example, you can create the image of a dog playing cricket in space. Now this image, and the dog is wearing, let's say, pink t-shirt. Now this image you've never seen, right, in your life. So you can create an image like this. You can create an emailer which was never there. You can create a content, a blog which was never there, right? Generative AI allows you to do that. And then there is a quick difference. What used to happen in the past when it comes to traditional AI? We were good at analyzing things. Machines were even better. They used to analyze the patterns and give you outcome based on the patterns, right? So far, the machine learning and artificial intelligence used to analyze large number of data sets and then give you outcome based on the patterns that they've been able to identify, right? But generative AI is different. Generative AI is able to create something new. Now data is already there. Now machine is now ready to create something very new for you, which was never there. And machine is smart enough to understand the context. Machine understands, uh, you can create a persona that, you know what, I want you to act like the best cricket coach. And I want to learn cricket in my balcony. And I want you to create instructions for me and a schedule for me for the cricket. Now this, and generative AI does that, right? So this was never done. This never happened in the history. And generative AI really understand the context and create something for you. So basically what it does, it creates text, it creates video, it creates code, it creates audio, it creates images. Now, the moment we talk about creation of something new, and now why and how have we started the session? We started the context of this webinar was that how generative AI is going to impact different industries, businesses, and professions, right? And how, as an MBA student, um, it is imperative for you to understand the importance of this technology. And now all of you are smart enough to just think about any company, any industry, any business, and think the volume of content which needs to be created. The companies which are creating textual content, whether emailers, whether websites, whether brochures, whether content libraries for their business, whether FAQs, customer service content, companies which are in coding. In our like in India, we have Bangalore, like a Silicon Valley of India, where you'll find every third person is, there is a saying that every third person is a coder, right? So huge volume of coding is happening. How generative AI can create codes. So imagine person sitting and creating 10 line of code, most complex code in a day's time. But imagine generative AI creating 100,000 line of code within a minute, right? Because the right prompt and right instructions is given. So the amount of cost and resources that it saves for a business, and we'll come to the other side of it, the implication on job, etc. But the amount of cost and resources that it saves, as a person who's managing this in a company, and which tomorrow you guys are going to manage, it becomes very important for you to understand and choose between the two. It is very important for you to understand and choose whether I should pay 20 lakh for video creation for my business, or I can use AI to create absolutely new, right? 100% fresh. And I should put my money, even just 5% of my money, 1% of my money to a resource who's expert in creating something like this, and not really pouring this money to businesses which are just creating content, right? Same with audio, same with images. The third thing, guys, which is very, very important is that where are we heading, right? In what direction we are going? So we have seen the traditional AI, we have seen the generative AI and what it can do. What is also important for us to understand is where are we heading? If you are empowered with this tool, imagine if you have this tool in your smartwatch, if you have this tool in your phone, but you already have this tool in your phone. Imagine we all have seen those Oculus lenses. We've seen Google Glass. You can wear a smart glass and then you can look at anything and you can just identify something, right? You can write a message, you can call someone, you can do a video call with this. Imagine if you are empowered with a technology like this, and this technology is embedded in us, we are already empowered with this technology. So imagine a future 5 years down the line when you have this generative AI technology embedded in your brain. So which means you know everything from everything worth knowing, which is out there as an information. You have the access of every information at any point in time. You are a you are a poet and you are a physician, right? You learn anything and everything from physics to philosophy. You know everything. You can write a poetry, plus you can write the complex mathematical equations, and doing research for to solve large computational problems, right? You can take care of anything in the world. Imagine that power. And there's a saying, there's a line of this movie, Batman, that with great power comes great responsibility. So, so this is a thought. We don't know. I don't have an answer to these things. And I believe where are we heading is going to be very, very interesting for humanity. Where are we heading is going to be very interesting for us as a thought experiment to understand how can we make use of this time? How can we make use of something that is, when there is a technology that is going to change the world as we see it? Let's understand generative AI and its applications. But before I do that, there's a quick headway. If there's any question that you have, please ping in the chat. If there is anything where you need clarity, please let me know. If there is any doubt, we can clear it, and then we can move towards generative AI and its applications across businesses and how they are going to, be useful for us. All right. So, all right, let's move forward. How generative AI adoption is working. And remember, I told you that almost 70% business owners plan to implement generative AI solutions within first 2 years. We are sitting in 2024. This research and the data that I have from KPMG came in 2023, late 2023, around September and October. So basically, you have 2024, 2025, and by 2026, imagine 70% of businesses have, generative AI solutions, um, generative AI functions available for us, right? Uh, I've got a question from three people. One, Sumit Pal, is asking how we can save from generative AI from fraud. Sumit, I have discovered in the webinar itself, so I'll answer this in next few minutes. Dharamveer is asking, sir, after this class, where can this recording lecture be available? You'll be informed. This will be available on all the webinar recordings are available on the YouTube of UPS On. You can head over there and you can watch the webinar recordings. We also publish this on our social media handles. So I encourage all of you, to be connected there and and learn from there. Uh, then anonymous attendee is asking, so as per my understanding, I think AI can create anything from the existing data availability. So uh, this is not entirely true. So first part of your statement is true. AI can create anything. But based on generally this understanding is that AI takes reference from the existing data and create from the existing data. However, this is not true. AI creates something which is absolutely new. That's very different. If it is about machine learning algorithms, they really look at your existing data and take most of the decisions, most of the output that comes out comes from the existing data, right? So you're able to identify that this kind of outcome must have come from the data that I have given to the system, right? However, generative AI is very different. It understands the underlying pattern of what you're trying to ask. It understands the context. So two words are important here: understand and context. Now, if I'm having a conversation with you and you understand what I'm trying to ask you, if you understood really what is the context of my question, your answer may be absolutely and can be absolutely different from anything that I've given you as an input so far, right? And that's what generative AI does. It answers you of the questions that you've never thought, could be answered. It answers you of the questions that never existed. It created a lot of information in the past and last few months which were never there. So no reference of that information. However, what it does, it uses the existing information to understand the context, right? And therefore it does something very, very new and very, 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 very different. Manish is asking, is there any country which has formulated laws for containing AI? If yes, what are they like? I think there is one European country, I'm forgetting the name. I think they have done it. They've rolled out a few rules. But so Manish, let's understand this, this technology is very new. Unfortunately, uh, this has been happening because the pace at which technology changes and the pace at which new technology comes, sometimes our legal system and the system overall is not able to maintain its presence ahead of the curve. So we generally observe the pattern, we look at what are the potential risks that might happen, and then we create rules around it. In India also, we are forming a lot of rules. In fact, what I can say is that different governments are creating rules around it, where they can taper and control AI in a certain way. But we don't know, like I said, we don't even know whether this can be controlled or not. We don't even know whether how can you control something which is more powerful than you? How can you tame something which is smarter than you in any shape and form, right? And what right you have to control that? So I think different countries can maybe control the data, input of the data, etc. Maybe some hygiene is certainly needed because AI is at this stage is not 100% correct. There's so many biases. There's so many issues with the current output which comes out of AI. So definitely there is a rule that is needed. But how long will these rules thrive when something is increasing its smartness and intelligence at cumulative speed, and it's compounding on every 18 month. So it's going to be very, very difficult and very interesting at the same time. All right. They might start controlling us. Do you believe that? I don't know. This is one of the big and bold conjectures. I don't know. This is true. This might be false. We don't know. Sir, as AI will do work of many people, so will it help in increasing job opportunities? See, this is subjective. Okay. I think if you are good at leveraging AI, if you're good at knowing how it operates, how it works, uh, it is going to be extremely beneficial for you. But people who don't know how to make use of this technology, and tomorrow you're going to lead a business somewhere, and let's say you're sitting at this some C-suite role in a company. Your job is to bring efficiency in the company, right? Your job is to save money as well as uh, improve the outcome, right? That's one of the core need that you have. So when you have to hire, you probably will not hire those who are not at all aware about what generative AI is, what AI can do. You will probably hire those who know how to make use of this tool and bring efficiency in the business, right? You'll pay maybe 3x more to those who know how to make use of this tool and bring efficiency across functions, across series of business interventions to ensure that you save money as well as you bring the efficiency. So it's less about whether job will go, it's more about both needs to work together to move in a certain pace. All right, so let's move forward. you can see the percentage on the left hand side of the screen. You can see that only 7% people are saying they do not have, and these are the business owners, okay? Only 7% people are saying they do not have a specific time frame in mind by when they are going to implement generative AI. But still, they're convinced the fact that they're going to implement generative AI. It's just that the timeline is not clear. But then look at the other percentage. 12% people are saying within next 6 months. 26% saying within the next year, 33% saying within the next 2 years, and 12% is saying within the next 5 years. 9% saying we have already implemented at least one generative AI solution, right? And we'll talk more about it. So basically, this is moving at a pace which is um, incomprehensible to us. So we need to be really fast when it comes to learning the tools and technologies pertaining to generative AI and how we can make use of and bring efficiency in the business. I, have fortunately got to know a lot of kids in colleges who've, while they're in college, they've created their own startups with the help of generative AI. They've created the chatbots, they've created content creation tool, they've created uh, APIs and OpenAI wrappers over and above the product that are being used, and they bring efficiency on this. So, for example, I know a guy who's was in one of the management college. Uh, he and his group of friends, they've created a a tool which can help you understand based on your content consumption behavior and based on your interest persona, etc. It can help you suggest which Netflix show to watch. We waste a lot of time in deciding which show to watch, right? But what it does, it understands the persona and then it gives you a recommendation, and then it matches the recommendation with other people who use this, and then it tells you 90% people, by the way, are watching this, who are interested in, let's say, fiction as a or thriller as a genre, right? All right, so let's move forward. We know the growth of AI landscape. You see it from 2023. This data is from Google Trends. This tool is available for free. I suggest all of you to keep trying these tools and technologies. They're pretty handy and they give you a lot of interesting insights. Google Trend is a free tool, and it tells you what is the trend of something which is being searched on Google. So what we search on Google largely depicts if people are talking about it or not, right? So 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 if you see the data from 2020, between 2022 to 2023, how the conversation around AI and chat GPT has gone up significantly, how everyone has started talking about it, right? On the right hand side of the screen, you can see different startups recently came in the different ways AI can help. So for text creation, you have these tools: copy.ai, copymatic, GenAI, image, audio, video, chatbots, code, food. And you may ask, why do we have different generative AI tools to create code, for example, or to create text, for example? So the answer is that, for example, let's say copy.ai largely tuned. So you can tune AI to perform a certain task and perform certain tasks far more efficiently than others, right? So copy.ai largely works for creating marketing copies. However, any word, there is a tool here. If you see, any word works to help you do a lot of keyword research, right? Copymatic help you create copies for your specific so you select an industry and then it helps you create copy for that industry. So they have AIs which are expert in that industry itself, right? So you can make use of that. Same goes with images, audio, video, chatbots, and code. In order to know more about it, there is a website called Futurepedia. Futurepedia is a directory of all AI tools which are created so far, right? So it's a directory. You go there, you search. I need to know this kind of AI tool. For example, you can see the list of all image creation AI tools are available. There are AI tools where you just enter a topic and then it creates the entire deck for you. For example, let's say you want to create a presentation for someone, right? And you want to create a 7-slide presentation. You just go to Futurepedia, you search for the PPT creator AI tool, and you will see the list of tools. You pick any tool, you register in that, mostly free, and then you enter, I want to create a presentation on let's say importance of generative AI in education, for example, right? And then it'll immediately create the entire content, image, and 7-slide deck for you within 5 minutes, and you have that ready. And then you do your bit of editing, etc. But mostly the groundwork, the labor work, which takes a lot of research, which takes a lot of content creation, which takes a lot of image creation, which takes a lot of formation of content and structure in the deck, has already been taken care of in just 5 minutes, which usually takes around 30-40 minutes for us to do, right? So it saves 25 minutes then and there. Then you can create videos, you can create a movie script out of it, or a video ad script out of it. So I suggest you to head over to Futurepedia and know more about it there. Let's understand how growth of generative AI has changed. You can see the data, and this data is very important for us to see the prediction, right? You are going to lead businesses by 2030, right? In next maybe 6-7 years, you are going to be at the top level in major big organizations, and I really hope and wish you reach there. And you see how generative AI, how artificial intelligence is really changing, how the market is changing. We are in 2024 right now, and see the demand that will go up in 2023. Right? This data is from Statistica 2023, so you can also refer this data. This is available, for public use. You can use this data. And then let's understand the job market statistics, right? And market growth statistics. 40% of business leaders will purchase AI solution within next year. And remember the data that I've shown you in the previous slide. 50% of adults believe AI will lead to increased job creation in the technology field. What do they mean when they say increased job creation? It means you have certain skills, you've learned economics, you've learned basic economics principles, you want to become let's say you want to join HR, and you're doing MBA in HR and or MBA in finance, and you want to build career in that. Imagine you have the understanding of AI also. So while you know your core of the industry of MBA in finance or MBA in HR or marketing, and then over and above, you have an add-on layer of generative AI, an understanding of AI and how it really works. So tomorrow, if there is a technology that needs to be embedded in the finance space or HR or marketing space, and you have to have AI solutions to evaluate and see the outcome of it. Uh, Imagine the kind of demand that you'll get in the market, right? So those people who have a bit of understanding of this technology, they are going to be insanely in need and demand in the future. 82% of business leaders agree that AI will enhance their employees' performance and job satisfaction, and therefore companies are investing heavily right now on retraining and reskilling their employees to use, generative AI. But how AI has improved over time? Let's travel a bit back in history and understand with a sense of what really happened, how things have started changing so much. So from 2014 to 2022, 2022, you see how outcome has changed, right? How it was a blurred and pixelated images in 24 and how it has changed in 2022. There was an interesting research done by pnas.org. There is a research, this research was done in Feb 2022, and I have added the link of this research at the bottom of the screen. If you can see what this research says. This research, based on this research, they've mixed multiple images. So they've mixed real images with synthetic images. Synthetic images are images created by AI. So they've mixed these two images, and then, so one second. Just one second. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, they've plugged in these two kind of images, uh, and uh, and then they've served these images to people to kind of share their interest, what kind of images they are liking. Now, if you see, people like more of synthetic images than they liked real images. And initially when they started doing it, AI created more synthetic images and more people started liking it. But what changed, what came out as an insight after this research? Came out as a research is that AI created more of those kind of images that AI believed that we like. So AI learned what kind of faces we like more. Now, if you think of this and just implement this analogy on social media, if you implement this analogy on Snapchat or any image creation tool that we use, any tool that we use to interact with others, AI really knows what kind of profile picture you're going to like. AI really knows what kind of face you more likely to engage and react to. And imagine if AI is able to do at personalization skills. So if there are 100 people who are joining this webinar, all 100 people, AI can understand how each of us are going to like something or not like something. And therefore, our social media is kind of changed accordingly, right? We are likely to react, we are likely to see those images who AI thinks we are more likely to react to, right? And this learning is powerful because people seems to prefer AI generated images more than the image of real people. Researchers behind the study are calling the safeguard for prevent deepfake. Uh, if you know about deepfake, if you're even in the aware set of people, deepfakes are content and videos on internet which are not of the real people. There are influencers out there. They are doing influencer marketing, sitting on millions of fans and followers. They're not real people. They've never existed, but they're actually getting millions in brand endorsements, and they are creating their identity out. If you see a person eating, going for swimming, working out, running, everything that an influencer generally do his or her life, right? But they're not real people. It's just AI, and they're making a lot of money. They're getting endorsed by brands. AI is presenting new and complex ethical issues, and we'll talk about it in a while. Quickly, let's understand this. If you see from 2020 to 2030, in 10 years, the volume of real data and the volume of synthetic data, which is created by AI, is going to be, and you can see the volume. Now, what I started my session with, I started my session with that AI becomes more powerful. Generative AI gives far better and accurate result to you, more realistic result to you, the more data you give it to, right? So now imagine by 2030, the quantum of data that will be there for AI to process, the synthetic data created by AI itself, plus the data which is available and created by humans. This volume of data will help create the interesting outcomes for us. Interestingly, India is ranked among top 10 nations in terms of investment in AI. So India is not behind. We are pouring a lot of money in AI startups. And I think by now, as we speak, we have around 3,700 startups in India who are fairly acknowledged, a lot under the radar, and we don't know, but these are at least listed out there and people know about these startups solving different problems across industries. So why are we talking about this? And why are we talking about this now? First thing first, you are doing MBA from UPS, um, and you are some of your and planning to do the faculties that we have here are trained in AI, right? We have ensured the people who are coming to the class and teaching you have this fair understanding of how AI works, how generative AI works, and how can you really make use of across the functions of the MBA that you're going to do. So even if you're doing MBA in HR, the people who we have here are going to train you enough that by the time you'll finish your MBA, you'll understand how to use generative AI in MBA and HR, and you're going to be a very distinguished MBA professional in HR out there once you're done from the college, right? We are talking about this now because we are here. This is a line, and imagine this line as the human progression through time. If humans are progressing through time like this, we are here. This is your 2024. World around us is going to be very different. And the most interesting part, when this happens, we are likely to underestimate the growth. We are likely to miss it. Watch this carefully. This screen shows that how long until computers have the same power as the human brain. Now, what is important for you to know is that at a particular second you see, because this knowledge is compounding, every second this is compounding for computers. So before you even realize, it just fills it. If you know, and if you are aware that compounding is the eighth wonder of the world, this clearly explains that, right? How something really doubles every 18 months, and then before you realize it just, finished. So very soon this is going to happen. Like I said, knowledge of AI is compounding. And therefore, you're likely to make bad predictions. Because if something is changing at the rate of compounding, something is changing which is having far non-linear trajectory, you're likely to miss it. If you're here and this has been the growth, and if you're here, which is your present day, imagine how likely you're going to miss it. Because what you've seen so far, you've seen this growth. So at max you expect this. You see the red and the amber ones, you're likely to estimate this with whatever mathematical models you use, whatever calculation you use, you're likely to see this. You may not see this. That is going to change. And this is where I'm answering the question to all those people who said that, is AI going to rule us? Is AI going to control us? If at all we are going to miss the estimate, if at all we are not going to realize the potential at which it is increasing, we certainly are likely to likely to lose this. So most of us don't know, and likely to make bad predictions, as I said. And why? There's one more reason. Why? Because there's no reference point in the history. If you look at the human progression in history, we have never had this technological, growth, or this change that has happened over a period of time. So since there is no reference point, we're likely to make bad predictions. Remember, I mentioned about parameter count, and why parameter count is very important for large language models and deep learning and neural networks to operate. Here is an example of this. First parameter count of Elmo, the first neural network that came around 2017. You see the parameter count of this, while you see the parameter count of GPT-3. On the right hand side, I found a very useful tweet from Yaroslav. Uh, this guy is kind of really popular in AI space, and he's done a lot of research. He says that GPT-3 has 175 billion parameters. GPT-4, which is available for us to use right now, has 100 trillion parameters. And GPT-5 is going to be infinitely large in terms of number of parameters. We don't even know how big, right? It can do almost anything. And in order to estimate the potential, let's look at this. What change can you observe in this image? Can anyone type in the chat? Can you observe any change in this duration? This this is the image created by AI, and this has been a progression over a period of time. This research came from Google. But if you see part 1 to part 5, can you see one important change, which is spelling? If you see, apart from the images and background and clarity and everything else, there is an image that also changed, right? And the spelling that is now correct. From first three, the spelling is not correct, but last one spelling is correct. And you know why? The most important part is, no one taught the spelling to this technology. No one taught what needs to be written. This is exactly what I was referring. Uh, it understands the underlying pattern, and it makes sense of what you need. It made sense. Okay, fine. So if there is a dog and it's wearing this, and then there was a context given, it may be saying welcome friends, which it was trying so much to learn. But the moment parameter count increased, it made sense out of it, right? And it gave the right response. What are the possibilities? You see, there are many AI tools which are available. I have introduced you to Futurepedia. You go, you download or make use of any technology tool. On the center, you see there is an image of Van Gogh painting, right? He's a painter, and he's famous for his Starry Night painting that he created long back. What AI did, what ChatGPT did, it created a poetry out of this painting. Now, he was never a poet, right? Van Gogh was not a poet, he's a painter, but it understood and whoever knows and read about Van Gogh, he's a famous painter. Uh, his painting and his arts and his context his content was written in a certain tone, defined his personality, right? What ChatGPT did, it understood we're talking about Van Gogh. It imbibed the personality of Van Gogh, and it created the poetry in the tone of Van Gogh, right? If you read about it, it's mind-boggling to understand the level of information that it can really understand within a fraction of a second, right? On the right-hand side, you see the power of GPT-4. There was an image just uploaded with a prompt that described this dish, estimate the calorie, and then give me a recipe. And within a second, it gave that, right? It understood what this image is all about. It calculated the calorie based on the information which is available in the image, based on the product which is available in the image, and then it created a recipe out of it. Imagine the level of intelligence which is there, which was never possible, right? Like I said, we are here. This is going to be, next few years are going to be very, very interesting. So let's understand how to make use of this technology to bring agility, efficiency, and scale across businesses, right? Let's understand the use case of generative AI in various business functions. There is a research from McKinsey and Company, and what they say, these are predominantly the industries which are going to be largely impacted by AI, right? The ones which are in blue represent 75% of the total annual impact of generative AI, and the ones which are in black are slowly moving in the direction. So next few years, you will see these also reaching in the blue category. So summarizing, it's early days, but generative AI is crazily widespreading. Uh, we have also identified and created an interesting chart for you to refer later on. What it does, it comes from banking and finance to retail to healthcare to travel and hospitality to education, health and media and entertainment. And what it does, it kind of created a chart of the use case adoption intensity. So the ones which are, if you reflect the bottom one, which is here, the ones which are in light blue, they are low in terms of adoption intensity, but ones which are in medium and high, they are high in the same order. They are high in the adoption intensity. So for example, let me take an example. For example, healthcare and life sciences, automated appointment booking is the first thing that is going to be impacted with generative AI, or patient engagement and follow-up is going to be impacted by generative AI, right? Or banking and finance, virtual financial assistants, call center automation is going to happen. Multi-channel communication is going to be impacted. In terms of education, admission query resolution is going to happen. Media and entertainment, you'll get smart speakers, content personalization, personalized content delivery. But automated sales and support, because it's media and entertainment, you might need people. That is going to be less impacted. This chart is very powerful to help you understand, at least on a broader sense, what is going to change and at what pace, right? So let's move forward. Another chart I have, which is especially for those who are in, you're doing MBA, so uh, how this is going to change the future of work, right? When you're joining a company tomorrow, how this is going to look like. You see the AI foundational model knowledge, you have the enterprise knowledge, and then you know the basic frameworks that I've taken you through on AI, right? And then we can probably, if you're interested, we can plan future webinars, deeply on this, how these models and frameworks works, how they are going to impact different industries like HR, finance, operations, renewable energy, oil and gas industries. And then we can come with a dedicated webinar on this. You see that there are different type of AI enablement, right? Generation into information collection, research, insights, automation, innovation, and decisions. These are all the areas where AI can play a role. If you have an AI enabled knowledge worker in the company, and then the person is allowed to guarded with safety, ethics, and compliances, which are created by the company policy and government to take care of the employees and customers of the business. They can create strategic framework around pursuing new markets, enhancing products and services, designing customer experience, reimagining new products and processes. These are certainly the kind of roles that you can play uh, in almost any vertical of the business. So if you're in, let's say, HR, you can think of a new product, a new processes that are going to simplify and bring this efficiency. You can think of the new ways to engage the employees more. You're going to enter new markets, and how to hire and how to change my comp and ben strategies, how to hire right talent from right place, right? Maybe the typical job portals are not the right place, so AI can help you assist there, right? You can get the needed information, you can make better decisions and faster, you can create a personalized communication and scale when you use AI. So this is just an example. If you use this model and if you implement this model across any industry of MBA that you're trying to do, this is going to help you a lot in that. Then we had a question about ethical issues tied to generative AI. We know a few things which are the areas where we are still contemplating, we're still having discussions around. Like I said, we don't know the capabilities of AI. There are capabilities which are unknown to humans at this point in time. We are not sure about the data leakage or sometimes AI tend to hallucinate and with not able to make sense of data correctly at those times, may not able to understand the context what you're trying to say, right? Bias and toxicity. Now, how bias comes? Let's say there is a large amount of data which is given to AI, right? And about to take a decision, but the data itself is biased, and therefore the outcome that is going to come is likely to be biased, because the very information and context that is being understood by AI is the very foundation is wrong. Or lack of transparency. Why? Because we all know how vulnerable we are when it comes to the data and privacy, how much information is being shared online, and how companies, technologies, and industries can make use of this data, right? So this is where it's going to be a little challenging for us in the future, and I believe governments and systems are working tirelessly to bring policies around it and solve. There is a lot of research is being done at World Economic Forum, raising concerns on how generative AI is going to impact humanity and what should we do about it. Let's take another 5 minutes, and I know we've crossed the time, another 5 minutes to broadly understand how to use generative AI tools and its applications. I want to take you through some of the tools. Let's say Chat GPT, for example. Let me just show you my screen and then take you through this. Okay, so let's use Google Bard. Okay, I'll quickly use Google Bard for you to kind of, do the analysis on this. While you can create content, you can create emailers, you can create web copies, you can create poetry, you can create story out of it. Let me tell you an interesting use of Google Bard. Let's say you searching for stock market charts, right? And you're doing this study to understand which stock market is good, bad, and let's say you're going to Trading View. This is a company. Let's say the name of the company is HDFC Bank, for example. You want to see the chart of HDFC Bank. Now, how many of us can really explain this chart in, let's say, 10 seconds? It's very difficult to read candle charts, and it's very difficult to take the insights out. So what you do, you just take the screenshot of this, right? So let's say I've taken the screenshot of the chart. Then I have gone to Google Bard. I'm clicking on the image here, and I'm uploading this chart here, and I'm asking it to explain this stock and calculate the profitability, right? And now AI will quickly understand this chart, what we are trying to ask, and give us insights. So it takes a few seconds to kind of really learn. And then say, now the image you sent me shows the chart of HDFC Bank, stock price, National Stock Exchange. This is the date, this is the price, this is gained by 16.2.5. Then what is the ROE? What is the P ratio of the chart? What is the dividend yield? And then you can keep going and asking, specific questions about this and keep answering those things to you. It's about the prompting and how you're going to make use of this, right? Let's say over and above, you're saying that write an email to recommend this stock to my friend, let's say Amit, and personalize this. Now you've given two different tasks to this, right? And now why I've used the word personalize this? Because now I'm asking this email to be written in a certain way. Now read this. It is the message that came out is, remember how we were talking about investing in some promising.
Rajiv,
Yep.
I think if you're sharing a Google screen, that's not visible. Only the PPT is visible.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Just
Yeah.
1 second. Huh? I'll reshare my screen. Okay. Is this visible now? Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, guys. So I uploaded this stock, as you can see. I uploaded the image of this stock. I took the screenshot from here. I just went here. I took the screenshot. I uploaded the stock, and I wrote a simple prompt, explain this stock and calculate the profitability, right? Immediately it read the information which is there in the stock, And what I was asking you is that how difficult it is for us to read a candle chart and create immediate insights out of this, right? Of this stock, which is there in the timelines, etc. What Google Bar immediately did, it read the chart, it gave you the insight, and it gave you the profitability score. Plus, it gave you three core metrics which are needed for us to invest in stock before we evaluate a stock, which is P ratio, return to on equity, and dividend yield, right? It gave you some information, while it said that it doesn't give you too much of information because you need to do better prompting to this, right? Also, it tells you, however, I can tell you this HDFC Bank is a large and well-established bank in India. It is a very strong stock P ratio is around 2022. So what it did, you just uploaded an image and then it did all the analysis at end, and it gave you all the outcome. The next prompt that I gave is that write an email to recommend this stock to my friend Amit and personalize this. Why I wrote personalize this? This is important because I wanted this email to be written in a way which looks conversational and personal. Now look at the outcome. The message, the subject of this email says stock market tip, check out HDFC Bank. And then look at the way the mail came out. Hi Amit, remember how we were talking about investing in some promising stock the other day? I came across one that I think might be right up for your LA, HDFC Bank, right? And why HDFC Bank? Then there is a breakdown, then why best, not, and then your name, and then PS, and then remember. So imagine the kind of research and the kind of work that you can do at this scale, right? This is the power of generative AI, which I wanted all of you to kind of broadly experience. You can use Chat GPT, you can create an image using, so for example, I just added a prompt of a dog playing cricket in space, let's say wearing pink t-shirt, right? And let's see the outcome that comes. I'm using Microsoft Bing image creator tool. It's a free tool. You all can just log in and start using it. What it does, it reads the information, the input that you've given, and then it creates a content which never existed. Now look at this image, right? This image was never there on internet ever, right? So it created, and then I added, make it look happiest, for example. And then it changes the image and will make it look happiest, right? So basically this is how generative AI works. You give the right prompt and then it gives you the right outcome out of it. And the people who are able to really use it, imagine there are companies, job opportunities, how efficiently you are able to do things with so much of. Now can you spot the difference between the two? These images are far more happier than the previous one. This guy is wearing a pink this dog is wearing a pink t-shirt. He's holding a bat, all the gears of a cricketer, playing in space, and then happiest, right? So yeah, so this is how it works. Let's go back here. Let me know if you are interested in knowing more about this. We will plan upcoming webinars to take you through this. This has been an interesting interaction from my side so far. I hope this was informative for you also. You can do all these things using ChatGPT or Google Bard, uh, content creation, training, and education. On the right hand side, you can see how ChatGPT has grown. This is one example of how generative AI has grown over a period of time, right? This chart shows how much time it took a company to acquire 1 million users. So if you see Netflix, it was launched in 1999 and it took them 3.5 years. And then Airbnb, Twitter, Foursquare, Facebook, Dropbox. But look at ChatGPT here. Can all of you just read and type how much time it took ChatGPT to reach 1 million users? Now, this is very powerful. This is the pace at which technology is growing. This is the pace at which things are changing, which are unprecedented. And yeah, let's embrace this. Let's learn this technology and let's make use of this in the future. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining the webinar. Like I said, the recording of this webinar will be uploaded on YouTube of UPS On. I recommend all of you to go subscribe the YouTube channel. So all the future webinars, you'll be the first one to know. And yeah, so anyone who missed it, you could not participate in the overall webinar, you can refer back and you can learn from there. We will publish the snippets of this on the social media. We'll also share the information and how generative AI is going to change different industries like marketing, finance, renewable energy, HR, uh, and in our on our blogs on UPS on. So I suggest all of you to go tune into that. You can learn a lot from that. And while you're doing your MBA, you're preparing for MBA, and building a career in this space, know a technology which is going to empower you and make you 10x more as a person out there, right? Thank you so much everyone for joining this. Hope you have a great day, and take care.